Welcome to the Horse Talk Show. Have you ever seen a horse who could talk? With your host, Louisa Barton, who really wants to be a famous rider. She really loves to ride fast. Presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care.
Truth is, I have horses with people problems.
Now here's the Brit on the bit, Louisa Barton. Enjoy the show.
Larson Farms is our TV broadcast sponsor. Mr. Richard Larson, a man of great integrity, cares about every single bale of hay and about taking care of his customers. He also has a huge heart for those genuinely in need. Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital. Thank you for joining us on the Horse Talk Show presented by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. I want to thank Larson Farms. They are our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
I'm Louisa Barton.
I'm Dancing Pete Rhoda.
And we are in downtown Ocala in the horse capital of the world, and we have a great show lineup for you. We're going to have Dr. Brooks from Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care joining us to talk about eyes and horses.
Eyes? Eyes and T's.
Yes, eyes and T's. We also have NCHA Junior Youth World Finals winner here with us in the studio with her mum. That's Georgia and Ginger Hoffman. And then we're going to pop out on a limb with Joe from Joe's Tree Service. And we're going to have BEMER as the therapy with Mireille from MD-equine Therapy. And then we're going to wrap it up with all the good stuff that we always have at the end. Good old Neil from Ocala Dog Ranch, good old dancing Pete Rhoda's tip of the week. And don't forget that we do air on YouTube, Equus TV several times a day on all smart TV networks. If you haven't downloaded your app for Equus TV, please do so. That is subscription free, and then you can always tune in on Saturday morning when you're mucking your stalls and listen on 97.3 The Sky or odyssey.com worldwide. That's 7:30 on Saturday morning. I know you always tune in and listen to yourself because you're always looking at yourself.
I can only hear myself, but it's still good.
So we have some photos here. If you're joining us on social media or on Equus Television, you can see them. If not, we'll tell you what you would be looking at. A great crew of winners. I think I'm the only one that didn't win a basket at this wonderful
And
event.
I gave you my basket.
That's right, you did. Because that's what good friends are for.
That's right.
That's right. This was a wonderful event to support veterans through the MTRA program, which is Marion Therapeutic Riding Association. And it was actually put on down in Sumterville. I had never been to this place. It was beautiful. That is Brian from
Wide Automotive. That's my
mechanic.
No, that's my mechanic.
That's my mechanic, Brian. From
and he can be your mechanic also.
He can be your mechanic too, that's right. And he can fix anything. And I was really excited to hear that he can even do warranty work there. So you definitely need to check Brian out. He's great. And he, right away, he's like, let's do a selfie. So it was a great event. Well done to the folks that put that on. We're always all about supporting.
And that was all the veterans.
Yes. Yeah, we love that. Horses and veterans, it's wonderful. And LT and Franklin were there from All Dry, who we love. They are just great folks too. And we were just in good company, weren't we?
Yes, ma'am.
So hats off to all those involved with supporting that event and our wonderful veterans. This is going to be fun.
January 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th.
2025, just around the corner, because we're almost to Thanksgiving. Well, Halloween. And
Halloween first.
And then Christmas, and then it's here. So, and we are going to be celebrity judges and media sponsors for the Mounted Police Championships. They're going to be at World Equestrian Center. And you can actually go and watch this as a spectator, completely free. There's no admission fee, and that is January 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th of 2025.
Come out and see us.
Absolutely. Should be fantastic. If you're listening on Saturday morning on the Sky 97.3...
You missed out.
This is already over. But we're going to mention it because if you're watching on Equus TV or Facebook and you would like to join us this week, this is September 19th from 2 to 4 p.m. and it's at Jambalaya, which most of you know is where John Travolta lives.
Woohoo!
But the Bull family also live there. And they are wonderful. They're supporting us by providing a fantastic venue for us to raise funds for equine education. This is part of our equine initiative presented by Piranha. And as I said, 2 to 4 p.m., we're having a live and a silent auction. It's $50 per person, or 4 people can attend for $100. So if you'd like to bring a couple of people along with you, all you need to do is email me, Louisa at ocalacep.com. And we are inviting non-CEP partners for this particular event because it's so important that we fundraise for this cause. This is to go towards the design and print of an equine industry coloring book for every single elementary age student in Marion County Public Schools, and an Equine 101 pamphlet for all our middle school students. And it also helps support the organizations that take the horses into the schools to do the visits.
And I was practicing in the truck today, my auctioneer stuff.
Can we hear it?
No, ma'am.
No auctioneer?
No auctioneer.
Oh, come on.
Who'll give me? I'm going to give 5. I'm going to give 5. We need nothing for Louisa here. I'm going to go to the 10. Let me give me 10. $10,000. Sold.
I didn't raise my hand. Well done. He can dance and he can auction. It's going to be a good time anyway. So if you'd like to join us and learn a little bit more about what the CEP Equine Initiative is all about, and check out some of the most phenomenal warplanes and helicopters and vintage cars and beautiful gypsy horses.
I do not want a helicopter ride.
You don't?
No,
ma'am.
That's
right, you don't like heights.
I don't like heights.
He doesn't like heights. Yeah, you'd have to go up a little bit in a helicopter. But anyway, we have a helicopter ride for 4 people. We have a dinner club golfing for a year. We have all sorts of wonderful goodies and baskets from our wonderful sponsors and partners, and it's going to be a good time. Refreshments and snacks from Equicool Down, and Spider Productions is doing our sound, and JB Golf Carts is bringing golf carts so we can go and see the horses. It's not like we're just throwing this together and it's going to be a good time. So come and join us. Let me know if you're going to come and we'll give you the instructions.
And what's going on right now is Give for Marion.
Yes.
So,
and we love Give for Marion.
So this is a fundraiser that happens in the 33 hours.
Yes, online.
Online, and each people get things donated. They get it matched for certain times of the hour by different companies. And I've already heard last year they raised $1 million, and just before I got on studio, they were over $900,000, and they have a whole nother day to still go.
That's incredible.
Yes.
And we actually have Gentle Carousel's poster up here because you can give to Gentle Carousel through Give for Marion. You can also give to MTRA and all the other wonderful 501c3s that we have that are equine related. And it is an online fundraiser, so you don't have to go anywhere. And if you're listening on Saturday morning on the radio, it's already over, so watch out for next year. But September 17th and 18th are the 33 hours that you can give, and that money can be matched, and they raise millions of dollars, and it's an absolutely fantastic way to help all the wonderful 501c3s that we have in this area. So.
In fact, I helped Brian get a picture with a horse with his shirt on.
That's good. It's good stuff, so give. This Saturday. Now, if you're listening on the Sky 97.3 this morning, and it's
you still can make
morning, you can still make it. You can be appreciated at Seminole Feed Stores, and I want to reiterate the fact that their mill is safe. For over 85 years, they have been making feed in Marion County and making it safe for our horses. So,
and when she means safe, that means no cattle feed.
Yep. No
medication feed for cattle will be put into the bins, and that's where you get in trouble.
Yes, that's where the problem
They
arises.
have to wash them out and make sure they don't
Just
have
horse food. Saturday, September 21st, Highway 40 West from 8 to 4 p.m. Bellevue, 8 to 3 p.m. Incredible store savings. We'll mention it again at the end of the show, and a community used tack and equipment sale. So come and see us.
Wow, that went fast.
I know. We'll be back after this with Dr. Brooks. Stay with us. This portion of the Horse Talk Show is brought to you by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care, our television broadcast sponsor, Larson Hay, Idaho's finest alfalfa, and supporting sponsors, DAC Minerals and Vitamins, Seminole Feed Stores, Lip Chip, Piranha, Pat Myers Electric, Florida HVAC Services, and Ocala Dog Ranch. This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. All horses need a solid immune system, excellent joint support, a healthy gut, and DAC has all the vitamins and minerals they need with the NASC stamp of approval. So like them on Facebook now or go to feeddac.com. DAC, it makes a world of difference.
Equestrian. It's not just a word but a title. It comes paired with hard work, discipline, and talent. LipChip is a company built by equestrians to make life at the barn a little easier. Introducing the Hooflink system, powered by LipChip, where a microchip becomes a secure key to unlock temperature, register for your next event, and keep track of required documents. Simply implant, scan, and unlock. Equestrians, the future is here, and the future is LipChip.
Nirvana, Ocala's premier medical spa, is leading the way in great skin with all the newest in treatment options, offering prejuvenation for younger clients and rejuvenation for all ages. Nirvana knows you want to look your very best, but we've all seen people with the telltale signs of too much work. We want you to look like you, just better, brighter and younger, with all the newest and best in technology and all in the most beautiful surroundings. Like Nirvana Medical Spa on Facebook and find them on the web at nirvanamedicalspa.com. Become a better, brighter and younger you. The team of professionals at Equifence of Florida specialize in equestrian fencing, offering great communication, quality fencing, and all done in a timely manner. Reliable service with horse safety in mind all the time. Also offering customized residential, vinyl, wood, aluminium, and chain link fences services. Equifence of Florida, quality fencing done right to keep your animals safe. For more information, find Equifence of Florida on Facebook now. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the second segment of the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms, they're our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
I'm Louisa Barton.
I'm Dancing Pete Rhoda.
And before we start with Dr. Brooks, we've got a couple of mentions. The first one is that Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care has a seminar coming up on September the 28th, and that is using the nervous system to improve performance outcomes. I think this is a very interesting topic that I have actually thought about before, and I think it'll be a very interesting opportunity to learn. They've got some great sponsors on board with them to help support this event, so check that out at Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care for more information.
And that's for anybody? Good.
I think it'll be a very interesting seminar right here in Ocala. And then I do want to mention something else that's not related to Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care, but if you adopt one of these, you'll need a good vet.
And hopefully you'll be able to touch them by the time you need it.
Yes, that's right. If you would like to give a really good forever home to a wild horse or a burro, you will have the opportunity. The Bureau of Land Management will be here for an adoption event in Ocala, Thursday, October 17th to Saturday, October 19th, and that's going to be back again at the Southeastern Livestock Pavilion on Jacksonville Road in Ocala. And I'm going to tell you that there are almost 60,000 Mustangs in holding right now who have had 3 opportunities to be adopted and not been adopted. And we don't want to make that 60,001 for any reason at all. So we hope that every single one of these wonderful horses and burros get homes.
And last year, Louisa made sure that they could make it out to the Hobby Horse Games. So all of them were adopted so that they could make out.
They were, and all I had to do is share some live videos and interviews, and boom, everybody was down there picking up their Mustangs. It was fantastic. I think it was the first time they ever got every horse adopted. So we'd like to do that again. $125 will get you a Mustang. My Mustang Flynn came from the Bureau of Land Management. He was $25 because he was on his 3rd strike. and that was his last chance to get adopted. I went to do an interview and left with the horse. It's not for everybody. You obviously need to be set up. You need to find out what the prerequisites are to have a Mustang, but they are wonderful horses. And if you get a good trainer who can help you learn your horse on the ground and spend a lot of time on that process, it will be worth it. We are now going to switch it up to Dr. Brooks and talk about eyes. Here he is. Louisa Barton here for the CEP's Equine Initiative and the Horse Talk Show on Equus Television. We're at Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. We have Mireille here with us and Peter Pan, who was visiting for an eye issue and concern with Dr. Brooks, our eye expert. So, Dr. Brooks, lovely to see you again.
Nice to see you too.
Tell us a little bit about what you were looking for in the initial exam with the photographs and the light and everything in the shot.
Yeah, initially, Peter, he had prominence of his third eyelid. Horses have 3 eyelids, and you're only supposed to see 2 of them, and you can see 1 of them very easily. And so he's a 15-year-old horse, and we were worried about why his third eyelid is prominent. Could it be from an injury? Could it be from inflammation? Could it be from, unfortunately, the word cancer comes up because of his age. And so we wanted to see if he could see out of this eye, which he can. We wanted to see if there was any evidence of being painful, which there was not. And so pain will have the third eyelid be prominent. And cancer can also make it easy to see the third eyelid, and we wanted to make sure that it was not those things, and it was not. Then there's a history of trauma. And everything that we saw, and Peter started after the traumatic incident between other horses, was witnessed by the owners. And so we eventually kept looking, and we saw that there was some evidence of a traumatic injury in which, at least in Peter's case, the fat behind his eye has moved into a little bit into the wrong place. And so that's kind of pushed his third eyelid forward. And we've all decided that leaving it alone is probably going to be in the best interest of the horse and everybody else that's involved. So I was initially quite afraid and nervous and worried. And then I got to do an exam. And when we did the exam, I feel a lot better. I think the owners feel a lot better. Peter probably doesn't care. He just wants to go home because he wants to eat. He's been eating out of the food bucket. So even though he's sedated, so
So you're comfortable with, unless the owners, unless Mireille and Phil saw something worsening, which obviously they would then come back for a further exam, but you're comfortable right now that as long as he's comfortable, there isn't any big concern.
Well, I'm actually really happy because I think this is going to be pretty static. I mean, like initially I was pretty worried because I thought we were going to have the conversation. This horse is very well taken care of, very well loved, and I thought I was going to have the conversation about the horse may have some serious cancer.
Right. And
I mean, the horse before them that I just saw has got cancer, but it's in a position where you can probably remove the tumor. And so for Peter, if Peter had cancer doing this would be probably a life-threatening condition. And no one wants to have that conversation.
No. It's always good. You can smile when you can say.
My heart rate, no, seriously, is actually quite low and normal right now. And when I first saw Peter in the hallway, I'm thinking, oh boy, here we go.
Yes.
And so, I mean, that's part of my job, to be happy and give bad news, unfortunately, and I'm much better giving good news.
Big relief, right?
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Especially right before Thanksgiving.
Yes,
yeah,
that's
exactly.
right. The holidays, yes, we don't want that, do we? No.
So,
wonderful. So this is a pretty good prognosis right now, and
I think it's a real. I was happy with this so far. If Mother Nature decides to be cruel to us all, then we'll deal with that in the future if this tends to get worse. But I think it's going to be pretty static. It's not going to change.
The position of a horse's eye and their ability to look around behind them is phenomenal, but also makes their eyes very prominent and and possibly at risk of things.
They easily
trauma.
injure themselves.
They do indeed.
And I wish they didn't, but that's just the nature of the animal.
Well, it is indeed.
Wish we could bubble wrap them.
Yes. That's
Oh, I
right.
like that. Yeah, no, I may have to use that if you don't mind at some point.
Yeah, go home, bubble wrap your horse.
There you go.
Dr. Brooks, Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care, thank you so much. We appreciate you very much. We're very happy about Peter Pan. Yes. Yes, thank you. Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show and the CEP's Equine Initiative. This portion of the Horse Talk Show is brought to you by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care, our television broadcast sponsor, Larson Hay, Idaho's finest alfalfa, and supporting sponsors DAC Minerals and Vitamins, Seminole Feed Stores, Lip Chip, Piranha, Pat Myers Electric, Florida HVAC Services, and Ocala Dog Ranch.
Faulty wiring is the leading cause of barn fires. I'm Pat with Pat Myers Electric. Equine facilities have special electrical needs. The knowledgeable and licensed team of electricians at Pat Myers Electric will ensure that you can achieve your vision for a beautiful, safe, and functional horse facility. From new construction to rewiring and updating, the Pat Myers Electric team is ready to jump in and help keep your horses safe. With a small farm of our own, we truly understand the unique concerns of the horse owner. Don't take chances. For all your current barn needs, go to patmyerselectric.com.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at seminolefeed.com.
Horses. Piranha! Oh no! Oh, the humanity! Oh, piranha.
Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care seeks to be a leading international veterinary practice that provides state-of-the-art veterinary care to their patients while fostering professional relationships with their clients that stand the test of time. For 24/7 and the best in equine care, check out Peterson and Smith at petersonsmith.com or like them on Facebook now for more information. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hey, this is Buck Branneman. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
I'm Louisa Barton.
I'm Dancing Pete Rhoda.
And we have the Hoffmans here, Ginger and Georgia. We're very excited to have them. And actually, we're going to do very first, so I don't forget, a shout out to Larson Hay.
Idaho's finest alfalfa. Oh, sorry. I'm just good. I just know to say that after I hear that.
Right, you have to, right?
That's right.
So Betsy actually is the one who let me know about the Hoffmans and told me about your wonderful recent victory, which is fantastic. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. But first, before I forget, I wanted to make sure that I gave Ginger Larson Hay gift certificate from Betsy because that is a blessing. And I know you use Larson Hay and
love Larson Hay.
Yeah.
Love them. And our horses do too.
Good answer.
Yeah, well, it's important, isn't it? Especially competing, that your horse is getting the best forage.
Absolutely.
Most important.
Absolutely.
So
and they are wonderful.
They are. We love them.
Okay, Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia. So you were a cutter. Yes. And for our audience who may or may not know what that is, I'm going to ask you to tell us what cutting is.
Okay, so cutting. They have this herd of cows, and you have to go in on your horse, and you have 2 minutes and 30 seconds to cut 3 cows. And you go in, and your trainer will tell you what cows to cut. and then you'll cut your cow out, and then you try to keep that cow away from the herd, and then my trainer just tells me to quit whenever whenever I need to quit. And then you'll go in for your second, and then you'll do the same for your third, and then the buzzer goes off, and then it's all done.
So how do they score it?
So they judge you, some classes, well, they judge mostly on the horse and mostly on how you and your horse look when you're separated from that cow. And that's how they really get your score. They have one judge.
So there's a judge's card, and we study those judge's cards a lot. And there is a lot that goes into judging a cutting. So yes, the horse is judged, the rider is judged. We're trying to pick really good cows too. There are so many factors that go into it.
So cutting is separating certain horses from the rest of the herd.
Certain
cows
yes.
from the rest of the herd. Yes, got it.
Yes.
Okay, so that's for our audience that don't know what cutting is.
Yes.
So you have recently won a very big world championship.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yes. So tell us about that. Big deal, right?
Yes.
Huge.
It was. It was amazing. It was so much fun.
Did you expect that?
I don't know if I really expected it, but we knew, I knew that we were number one throughout the whole year, but it was really close. Me and second place were. And so it came down to how the show went, and he had to have won every single round to beat me. And so I was really stressed going up through the whole thing because if I didn't get any points, then I would have lost my number one spot. But it worked out good, and I ended up number one. So
that's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, a round of applause there. And tell us about
And do you have the belt buckle on? Since we just popped it up.
She does. Yes, she does. I can see that. Tell us about your trainer. You mentioned your trainer, and actually we've had him and his beautiful wife on the show before.
Yes. So we started out with his dad whenever we first started, and he kind of taught us the basics. And then his son, I think he was in Valdosta then, and then he came back to live in Florida, and that's when we met him. And we started doing some lessons with him, and we really liked him. And so now we started.
So Colby Moore.
Yes.
Fantastic.
So Colby
yes.
Moore. Yes, he is wonderful.
He is. And you met him at the fantastic Florida Horse Park, who we love. I'm on the board for the Florida Horse Park and love
wonderful.
the team there. And actually my donkeys live there, just in the side loop.
It's a wonderful facility.
But Colby,
we
yes.
really appreciate them.
They are
FCHA is who holds the shows there, and we really do appreciate the horse park. It's a great facility for us.
That's amazing. That's wonderful. You're in really, really good hands with Colby Moore. But I have to do a shout out for Dad.
Yes.
Grant Hoffman.
Yes.
Because really, both of you are involved where you are at this level because he got the ball rolling, which is rare for dads.
Which we want to hear that story because we heard it before. So where did you go for your first cutting?
So our first cutting before we knew anything about the sport was a surprise birthday gift from Dad. And he flew me and her out to Fort Worth for the futurity.
Wow.
We didn't go to just a small cutting. We went full.
You went big.
We went big.
So now all the rest of the cuttings, I've been there, done that.
Yeah, so that was how we got introduced to it. And then as soon as we came home, we ran back to the horse park to the winter circuit. And that's where we met Colby and Casey, actually. Colby happened to be home that weekend, so we met them both. And that's where the journey started.
How fantastic. And that was only 4 years ago. And look at where you are in 4 years. So shout out to all the youth out there that, hey, you can get started in something and 4 years later you can be at the top of your game for the youth, right?
Yes.
Now, how did you get to the top? Is there a special horse that we...
Ray!
Yes.
Oh, Ray.
Yes. We started out, me and my mom were sharing him, and then
and you just took over.
Yes. And whenever we were sharing him, we got another horse named Bonnie, and I kind of got more confidence on her. And because I was scared of Ray in the beginning, but because he was a lot faster and he was a lot more horse than I'm used to. And so once I got Bonnie and I got my confidence built up on her, and then once we kind of realized that I needed something that was a bit more than Bonnie was because she was older and wasn't as much horse, but I loved her. And so then I started riding Ray, and as soon as I started showing him, it was like amazing.
That was it. You were like sold.
So what scared you about Ray?
He was very powerful, and he was very fast, and I did not want to fall off. So I was scared of him.
So you learned to not fall off.
Yes.
And win. That's pretty good. That's pretty exciting.
So how close to the ground does he get? Because people don't realize in cutting, the lower they get, usually the higher the score. So.
Yes. I don't know how to say how low.
How close are your feet to the ground when you're cutting?
Yeah.
Well, she's got pretty long legs, so
Right.
it don't take much, right?
You do, and you're only 13.
Yes.
Which is amazing. I'm so impressed because as soon as I met you, I thought, oh my gosh, you seem older, more mature. You homeschool, so you balance homeschool with traveling to shows and competing and winning.
Yes.
Is that difficult?
I mean, it was difficult in the beginning, but now that I've been doing it for 4 years, it's so much easier now because it's just like my life, so.
And you managed to keep your grades at school? Wow, that's impressive.
A lot
that's
of hard work. I don't think sometimes she realizes what she's doing and what she's accomplishing, but hard work, dedication, absolutely.
And what's the future?
Yeah,
what's the future?
More winning. More belt buckles.
More belt buckles.
I wanted to be a vet, but then this is like totally off topic from horses, but I think I do want to go to cosmetology school because yes, because I do.
We need more vets. Just saying.
True.
Mom was looking forward to the decreased vet bill.
Oh, of
but
course.
you know.
Yeah, but to get into vet school and pay for it.
Yes. And there's definitely still a bunch of time, so I could change my mind.
That's right. You're 13.
Or you could do both. Could do both.
Could do both.
Yeah, you could do both. What a great mix.
Do you want to keep on cutting?
Yes.
Yeah, you do. Look at her. She's sure.
Yes.
We are trying very hard to take a mild break.
What's that?
Well, we're having a hard time with it, but we are trying to take a little bit of a break, give the horses a little bit of a break, and but I'm sure we'll be right back at it.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's pretty special to be the National Cutting Horse Association, right? I got that right, didn't I?
Yes.
Yes. And you are the Youth Junior World Champion.
Yes.
So we've got goodies for you because we think that's really important.
Here you go,
that
Mom.
you have piranha goodies, a nice piranha bag full of piranha products, and very special to travel with you, a horse talk show, nice dandy brush.
And you got to get a picture with it in all the different places so we know.
Especially when you win, by the way.
Oh, how wonderful.
And a Larson Hay gift certificate. And thank you again to
Thank
Betsy
you, Larson.
from Larson Hay. We love you. Did a great job with these guys. We're going to have them back on the show for sure. And definitely pop out to the farm and do some filming too, because that sounds like
we
nice.
would love to have you.
Got to go to break. Coming back with the second half of the show. Stay with us. Larson Farms is our TV broadcast sponsor. Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa.
This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala, where the entire team is committed to making your experience in sales and service hassle-free and easier than ever with no games or gimmicks. Come in and visit on Southwest College Road or online at palmchevrolet.com. A second-to-none experience with all the amenities. Palm Chevy, find new roads.
LipChip is a company built by equestrians to make life at the barn a little easier. Equestrians, the future is here, and the future is LipChip.
This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. DAC, it makes a world of difference. The Equine Performance and Innovative Center, situated on 30 pristine acres in the horse capital of the world, is one of the finest and most complete conditioning and rehab centers for equines and canines in the nation, including an equine hyperbaric chamber, aqua pacer, water treadmill, cold water leg spa, equine swimming pool, Eurosizer, and more. Epic equine veterinarians specializing in rehab and conditioning. For more information, go to epcrehab.com or find them on social media.
Cut through the noise and distinguish your business with a custom vehicle wrap from Smash Wraps. Get noticed with eye-catching vehicle wraps that showcase your brand's identity and earn you more business. If you're looking for a custom-designed vinyl wrap for horse trailers, box trucks, cars or pickup trucks, for a single fleet vehicle, or for 100, no job is too big for the Smash Wraps team. Make your appointment to set your business apart today. Find us on social media or at smashwraps.com. And remember, don't just wrap it, smash wrap it.
This show was brought to you in part by TT Distributors, dedicated to bringing their customers the largest selection of quality horse supplements, products, and farrier supplies in Florida at affordable prices. Also online at ttdistributors.com.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show. Have you ever heard of a horse that can talk? Listen to this. With your host, Louisa Barton. She's literally in love with every horse. Presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. She's back in the saddle again. And now here's your host,
Pretty.
Louisa Barton. She's a Brit, she's got the gift of the gab, and her guests are fab.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. We're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
We have to be lightning fast, I'm told. So here we go. Louisa Barton here for the Horse Talk Show and the CEP's Equine Initiative, talking to one of our CEP partners who takes part in our equine initiative regularly, and that is Mireille from MD-equine Therapy. Mireille, we've chatted a little bit about evaluations and how oils work into this program of treatment. Let's talk a little bit about how you work your BEMER therapy into what you do. And first of all, I guess, let's tell people what BEMER is in case they don't know.
Yeah, excellent. BEMER stands for Bioelectromagnetic Energy Regulation.
I'm glad you said that. A lot of people say, is it a car?
Yeah, BEMER. So the BEMER, they have a meaning.
Yes.
And it uses PEMF, which a lot of people are familiar with, pulse electromagnetic fields, to drive the BEMER signal. So BEMER has a patent waveform into the body in order to enhance their blood flow, microcirculation into the tiniest capillaries, and increase more oxygen as well, and then remove waste and toxins from the body. And I like incorporating BEMER into my practice and my modalities because the BEMER is really like a warm-up for the horse. So often when I get cold and I come to the horse, there's an issue with the horse, right? Otherwise they wouldn't call me. So their horse is maybe is some discomfort, maybe they're anxious. They don't know exactly what's wrong. They had the vet out, but everything was clean, but the horse is still not, performing as they desired, or sometimes it's for well-being and a good feeling after performance. And then what helps, if I would start immediately working with my hands, sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get them relaxed, right? Because they're like, oh, what are you doing? Or this hurts. Or sometimes they're stressed or anxious.
And you're just maybe even new to them.
Yeah.
You're a new person in their environment.
Maybe the modality is new to them, or I am new to them. And the horses, like people, some horses, they're immediately in your lap, right? They're licking you and kissing you and I love you. And other horses, they're kind of standoffish. And they have this wall around them. But with what I like about this therapy is that I use it to start with. So it really helps the horse set up for a great session because it balances their nervous system. It enhances the circulation and the blood flow. And therefore their tissue is already a lot softer. So I can work deeper because with horses, you really have to work through the 3 different layers of the muscles. You have superficial muscles, medium muscles, and deep muscles. And if they're super, super tight, it takes a while to go through the different layers. Now, if they have a BEMER session, which can be 5, 10, or 15 minutes, depending on what the horse has going on and if they're already used to BEMER therapy, it kind of prepares the body for the next therapy. And what I also love about the BEMER is that most of my clients have BEMERs now because they can use it every day for their horse.
Right.
And I wish I could go every day to see the horses. But, you know, my goal is to help as many horses as possible. And not constantly, you know, go back to the same horse because you want to have improvement.
Right.
Right. You want to help.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
Right.
The goal is for that horse to be as best as they can. And of course, when they perform, they need to be treated again. It's like athletes, right? If you have soccer players, football players, baseball players, swimmers, they have massage therapists, right? They have body workers. They're constantly doing things because they have a lot of lactic acid in their muscles.
Right.
Right. And the same with horses. If you have a sport horse, that horse needs to constantly have therapies because they are athletes, right?
That makes sense.
Yeah. And then with the BEMER, the owner of the horse or the rider or the barn manager, they can put it on their horse every day before they ride. So it helps with suppling up the muscles, gets the blood flow going, so it reduces risk of injury. Because if you have better blood flow, especially in their legs.
So it's almost like a warm-up, really, where a lot of people, you obviously still need to spend time warming your horse up, but it helps to get everything moving before you actually get out there to start the work.
Yeah. So actually where it's very warm, like here in the summer, it helps because you want to shorten your rides, right? You don't want your horse too long out there in the heat. So the feedback was that people said like, wow, my horse is warmed up after the BEMER. I can just get on and maybe walk one round and trot and then go. Where if they don't use the BEMER, then they have to do that 10, 15 minute warm up.
Right.
And then they can start, which adds to that time in the heat. And when it's cold, so up north or in Canada in the winter, people struggle with horses being so cold, and that it takes so long to warm them up. 30 minutes to warm them up before they can really get going.
Imagine us having that here.
No, it would be nice sometimes to cool down a little bit, but not that much, not in the minus.
So in either climate, it's a very beneficial tool before you start schooling, training, riding, competing.
Yeah, and it's also great to use after you ride or after body work, because then it even enhances, it helps flush out the lactic acid and the toxins. So that's like with us, right? I don't know if you sometimes get tight somewhere if you do a sport, or especially if you do suddenly a new sport, or you've been out for a couple of weeks or months.
Or you go on a really long trail ride when you haven't been riding for a while. Yes, that feeling.
Or you go running or swimming and you overdo it a little bit, everything is sore and tight. And then BEMER therapy really helps as a recovery to get the muscles that are kind of tense, like, to relax them again. It relaxes the muscles and it flushes out the lactic acid.
That's wonderful. And I have actually seen you do this treatment, and I've actually watched the horse drop its head, close its eyes, start slobbering. Yes, getting very comfortable.
So it's much nicer as a body worker to work on a horse
after
relaxation. And that state of mind. So yes, so that's why we are a big fan of BEMER, and then also because my clients, that's buy one, they can use it every day.
That's incredible. So blanket on the horse before riding, before a therapy, after riding. If your horse is any kind of discomfort, and even if you just need to relax a horse.
But also, so it comes as a blanket, the set, a blanket and 2 cuffs for the legs. You can do front legs or hind legs, and clients will know their horse best, if they have maybe an old injury in the front, or maybe they have an injury. With horses that are on stall rest, it's actually nice that the BEMER gives them circulation while they're just standing still.
Right, because they're standing in the stall, not doing their usual.
And that slows down the healing processes.
That's right.
When they're standing still in a stall. So let's take a horse with an abscess. You know, he's not walking. He doesn't want to walk.
Right.
So he's just standing still. And then if you put the BEMER on and you put the cuff on the leg where the abscess is, it keeps the circulation going. And it helps the abscess to drive it out faster.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But then also the body stays more active. So I see people that have horses that need to stay on stall rest 6, 9, sometimes 12 months. And they, because of a significant, you know, serious injury, and they tell me with the horse in a BEMER, once their horse is ready to start back up in training again, you know, very slowly, they go like, wow, it's like he never had any time off.
That's wonderful.
Know? So it keeps the muscles going, and it keeps the musculoskeletal system going. Horses on stall rest can really get anxious and nervous because they don't know.
That's not their usual
what's wrong,
schedule.
Especially if they're used to going out every day. And that's where the BEMER comes into play, where it balances their nervous system, where they can go like, oh, okay. You know, because horses, being animals of prey, they go very quick into sympathetic nervous system. So fight and flight. I want to get out of here. You hear, oh, my horse is bouncing off the wall. You know, can you come? Can you come do some therapy for my horse? It's bouncing off the walls. And it's basically their nervous system that is stuck in that fight and flight.
Yes.
Right? They don't know what to do with themselves.
That makes sense.
And then, yes, the body work works, but then the BEMER is something they can use every day.
Wonderful. BEMER therapy incorporated with other therapies. Thank you, Mireille. Louisa Barton here for the Horse Talk Show and the CEP's Equine Initiative. Thank you to the presenting sponsor of this portion of the show, Palm Chevrolet, and to our TV broadcast sponsor, Larson Hay. Also, thank you to the supporting sponsors, the Equine Performance and Innovative Center, TT Distributors, Equifence of Florida, the Florida Horse Park, Smash Wraps, Nirvana Medical Spa, Equigreen, JNS Pressure Washing, Horse Vans, and Midnight Rose Equestrian. The team of professionals at Equifence of Florida specialize in equestrian fencing. Equifence of Florida, quality fencing done right to keep your animals safe.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed.
Oh, piranha.
My name is Dr. Natalie Solomon. I formulated Equigreen with cutting-edge science and technology alongside the passion that is represented by a lifelong love of horses. I created a product that I would trust for my horses because they deserve nothing but the best for their bodies. Horses rely on us to take care of them, to love them, to respect them. This is how Equigreen came to life. Equigreen, CBD for your horse that you can trust.
Does your farm need a facelift? Has the harsh Florida climate left your barns, stable doors, and fences stained? JNS Pressure Washing has a professional team who can exceed your expectations and restore your farm to its former glory. Get rid of dust and cobwebs that can cause allergies and health issues for horses, and keep your horses safe by limiting fire hazards in the barn. JNS Pressure Washing can clean your house, your barns, your fences, and your driveway, and you can count on dependable and professional services. For more information, call Steven at 352-502-5355.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
This is Charlotte Cannon, and you are listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
I'm Louisa Barton.
I'm Dancing Pete Rhoda.
And we are going to switch it up in just a minute to Joe from Joe's Tree Service, and he's going to take us out on a limb. But I want to do a quick shout out for Joe before we start on that, very quick, because Isaac tells me I have less than 2 minutes. And that is just to say thank you, Joe, for all the advice on my ground out there. He's the one who actually recommended I get topsoil for my sandy, barren desert.
And I'm going to actually use that.
And it works.
See if it works.
It's dirt pile, the dirt pile. They do a fantastic, nice organic topsoil. So thank you, Joe, for that wonderful advice. My grass is growing thanks to you. Wonderful tip. So now he's going to talk about trees. Here he is. Louisa Barton here for the CEP's Equine Initiative and the Horse Talk Show, and I am with Joe from Joe's Tree Service. A couple of months back, while I was chatting to my nephew about trees and work I needed doing, I got a text from a very dear friend of ours, Judith, with BNI and CEP also, actually, as a matter of fact, and she referred me, very interestingly enough, to Joe from Joe's Tree Service and said that he would really like to get his name out in the horse world. So we thought what a perfect opportunity it would be for you to learn about Joe and what he does, and for us to learn a little bit about what he's going to do here at this property. Now, we talked a little bit about how many wonderful, beautiful trees there are here, and we love them, and of course we want to keep them all. They provide lots of shade here and keep everything nice and cool. But we do need to do some work here, and Joe's going to show us some things that need to happen. So, Joe, thank you so much.
What we've got going on here is you've got a bunch of gorgeous trees. These ladies all look phenomenal.
I love how you call them ladies. I never thought of them that way. I have a whole new feeling about my trees.
Yes, they definitely are, and it's just like you're getting your hair done. These ladies need to have their hair done. Over time, it gets where it needs cut, trim, a snip, a tuck, things like that, and that's what we do. Try to keep the leaves on them and try to keep them growing, keep the canopy up to where it's not so much responsibility when a storm comes through.
So let's walk a little bit, and if you'll point out some things that you notice as we're walking. So this is kind of where the middle of the property is, and this is really where the most trees are. You can see some others kind of dotted around, but this is really the predominant area where we have the most shade and the most trees. So if you would like to share with us some of the things that you noticed so that people who have something similar on their property would know what they needed to do.
Looking down this fence line, you can kind of see that you've got longer leads coming out and they're actually intermingling with other trees. What we try to do is set boundaries between the two girls. That way they don't get intermingled, and if there is any diseases, they don't pass from one tree to another. Because if you look over here, you'll see one lead that's all the way dead. And that has, I believe, does have a disease on it. It needs to get trimmed off. That way it doesn't pass on to another tree and onto another tree, because a lot of these girls do intermingle. So that's one way to set boundaries. And if it's over the fence, make sure the vitalization of all these limbs are all on point. That way, whenever you do have horses in here, you've got nothing to worry about when you're away.
Absolutely, because you don't want anything falling on the fence, any limbs or anything. As we walk out here, maybe some other things that you notice. Now, there's some funny red patches on the trees. I know I mentioned that to you on some of these out here, which is different. I wondered what that was. Now, do I need to have concerns about how much Spanish moss there is and how much green stuff there is on the trees? Are those a concern?
So the Spanish moss actually lives off the nitrogen in the air. Only reason that it would be tragedy to a tree is because it gathers water and holds water, which gives it added weight. And if you have a lead that's not already trimmed, it gives it even more weight. So it ups the possibility of it actually breaking off. So that's the only worry about that. And if you can see over here, it's not horrible, but it's there. I've seen way worse, and it's just, for a lot of people, it just adds for a nice view if you're okay with it.
Otherwise, I love it.
Yeah.
I love the way it looks. To me, it's beautiful.
Yeah, what you have here, it's not detrimental, it's not hurting. You see that none of the foliage is receding. Life goes on. Right. Otherwise, if you wanted to just have it taken out, it's just pulling it out or having it sprayed.
I love it.
Yeah.
If I can keep it, I want to keep it.
Yeah.
I think when the sun is setting and it just glistens on it a little bit, it just looks so idyllic, and beautiful.
Yeah, it's something that goes on a magazine.
These are super old trees, right?
Yes, they are.
How old would you estimate these trees are?
These girls are probably 75 or closer to 100.
Old.
Yeah, pretty old.
Extremely old.
Yeah.
So for those on the radio, we are looking at some ancient oak trees on a farm, probably 100 years old, absolutely beautiful, Spanish moss, amazing big limbs.
Yeah.
What would you do out here? I'm trying to make grass grow, but I don't want to lose my shade.
So reducing the canopy just to where light does get in here, but not cutting it all the way back. Time, about 30% of the foliage you could play with whenever we're in the summertime is what you could trim off and have some light be able to start coming through. Thin out the canopy a little bit so it fills in. Just maintenance, just maintenance.
Now, what is the point where you know that a tree is dying or dead? And do you see any out here that you would say that we're concerned?
So what you have out here, everybody looks healthy and happy. I mean, if you start seeing spotting in your foliage, like there's intermittent dead spots, or if the root base is coming out of the ground, which this one's perfectly good, you'll find a dip on one side and a raised spot on the other. That's another sign. Or most of the time, if you want to see lightning strikes, you'll see strips on a tree. None of these girls have it, but most of the time it's a pine tree that has it if you have one in the area. But that's another characteristic. Once they've been hit, if they do recover, it just shortens their lifespan because that's just a underlying cursor that's kind of going to have to live with after that point.
Right. And how long do these trees usually live?
Can
they live hundreds of years?
Hundreds of years easily, yes. I've seen them bigger than any of these, and it was, I think they said it was 200-300 years.
Really?
Yep, in Daytona.
I'm so glad to hear that because I want them to outlive me.
Yeah, they definitely, all these girls potentially have that. If you're taking care of them like you are, which you are, oh yeah.
Good.
Yes.
So you're going to come out and tidy all this. You're going to lift the canopy a little bit. We'll help the grass grow. You're going to help these limbs. You're also going to stop them passing any disease to one another. So you're going to make boundaries between them so they're not touching one another. Anything else that you want to add to this particular property that you notice or think needs some work?
Other than lifting the canopy to where you can be more transparent, so that way when you look out in your pasture you can see your fur babies anywhere they are. That gives you visibility, but other than that, what I've seen so far of what you have here, you've got a bunch of pretty ladies.
A bunch of pretty ladies. I will never look at them the same again. Joe, thank you so much. Thank you to Judith from BNI for the referral, for meeting Joe. It's been such a wonderful experience. He and his wife have also been absolutely fantastic at the reading program this summer with Gentle Carousel Miniature Therapy Horses providing waters for us. And that has been just wonderful meeting him and Christina. So I want to thank you so much. This was a great walk and stop. We're going to have more for you with Joe from Joe's Tree Service. Check him out. Thank you to the presenting sponsor of this portion of the show, Palm Chevrolet, and to our TV broadcast sponsor, Larson Hay. Also, thank you to the supporting sponsors, the Equine Performance and Innovative Center, TT Distributors, Equifencer Florida, the Florida Horse Park, Smash Wraps, Nirvana Medical Spa, Equigreen, JNS Pressure Washing, Horse Vans, and Midnight Rose Equestrian. Ocala Dog Ranch offers a variety of services for your dog, including agility training, barn hunt training, board and train, boarding long and short term, daycare, day training, dock diving training and competitions, disc dog, swimming lessons and pool rentals, lure coursing and obedience training classes. Check out Ocala Dog Ranch at ocaladogranch.com. Ocala Dog Ranch is your home away from home for your dog and more.
This show was brought to you in part by TT Distributors, also online at ttdistributors.com.
Cut through the noise and distinguish your business with a custom vehicle wrap from Smash Wraps. And remember, don't just wrap it, smash wrap it.
Epic Equine Veterinarians specializing in rehab and conditioning.
This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala. Palm Chevy, find new roads.
Equigreen, CBD for your horse that you can trust.
Nirvana, Ocala's premier medical spa, is leading the way in great skin with all the newest in treatment options. Become a better, brighter, and younger you.
The Pat Myers Electric team is ready to jump in and help keep your horses safe. For all your current barn needs, go to patmyerselectric.com.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the final segment of the Horse Talk Show for this week, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms. They're our TV broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
Louisa Barton here.
Dancing Pete Rhoda here.
And we are going to switch it up to some sponsored by Wildlife Works. Pete's Tip of the Week.
Dancing Pete's Tip of the Week, brought to you by Complementary Horsemanship. This tip is sponsored by WildlifeWorksLLC.com for your unwanted wild critters removal.
Plenty of critters.
Critters from Wildlife Works.
That's right. They do a great job getting rid of those things that you don't want in your barn.
So my tip of the week is a question for you. Can you put out a forest fire with a squirt gun? Louisa?
Well, of course not.
You can if you catch it at a spark. So that
trick question.
So that tip is, don't let your horse get over that spark. You see that spark? Help him out. Don't wait till it gets building to a fire, now a forest fire, and now you're sitting there with your squirt gun. That's what I see a lot of students do. They're sitting there with the squirt gun, and it's not working. And I'm like, yeah, it would have worked 5 minutes ago, but because you let it build and build and build, now you got to call the fire department. So think of that, and think of that in life, as you always like me to put it towards
Nip
life.
it in the bud is what he's saying.
Yes, ma'am. When it's a spark, don't wait until it's a forest fire. So that's my tip of the week.
Well, that's a good tip of the week. And since you mentioned that, I do want to say prayers and thoughts out there to all those people that have been dealing with some terrible fires across the United States of America recently. Not that it's not incredibly difficult on two-leggeds, but I think it's even more stressful when you have four-leggeds because you're trying to cope with managing them and getting them to a safe place. And they actually did share some video footage the other day of some wild Mustangs taking themselves to a safe place too, down the road with an escort. So it is a very difficult situation to be in. So we just hope everybody's staying as safe as possible. And I do know one thing about living here in the United States of America is when bad stuff happens, everybody just seems to get together, forget their differences, and help each other. So if you're one of those folks out there helping people, hats off to you and well done, because that's a very stressful spot to be in. Yes. And before we go to Neil at Ocala Dog Ranch, and did I mention that if you own horses, you probably have at least one dog?
And the Horse Talk Show has gone to the dogs.
It has indeed. But I want to show you a banner first. And I want to show you this. If you're listening, you'll have to go find us on Facebook or Equus TV and check it out. But Ocala Dog Ranch, the official boarding facility of Louisa Barton and the Horse Talk Show. Wouldn't take my dogs anywhere else. And my only concern is that they might have too much fun and not actually want to come back home. And they do have a blast with Neil and his team over there. And if you haven't checked out Ocala Dog Ranch for all the wonderful sports they offer, they are off the charts, phenomenal facility. So here's Neil. The Horse Talk Show goes to the dogs at Ocala Dog Ranch.
Neil Hennessy, Ocala Dog Ranch. Adopt, shop, or foster. It's a personal choice. We buy our dogs because we need to make sure that our dogs can do the purpose that we want. But there are a lot of great dogs out there in the shelters. We have a dog that we adopted that from the county. That's a fantastic duck diving dog. We didn't pick her, she picked us. We love her to pieces. Just keep an eye on our Facebook because she's going to do big things for us. Also foster. If you're not sure you really want a dog or you just want to help the situation for a little while, go to the many organizations that we have in Marion County and foster a dog. It will alleviate the strain on the shelters and it'll give a dog a break from a shelter environment. And you never know, you might be a foster fail and adopt a dog. Neil Hennessy, Ocala Dog Ranch.
Love Neil. And yes, shop, foster, adopt. You know, I love the fact that Neil does not put down breeders, but he does promote breeders that actually do it well and properly with ethics. He introduced me to a lady actually at an event recently who does just that and even has a bring back policy and everything, no matter at what point in life for a dog. And it is important that you do get a dog from a really, really good reputable breeder, not just anybody, because there are puppy mills out there. And then there is adopting, which is wonderful because there are so many unwanteds, and Neil has pointed out to us, Neil from Ocala Dog Ranch.
Louisa's not allowed to adopt anymore.
But Neil from Ocala Dog Ranch has pointed out to us that if you adopt a dog from a shelter, it doesn't mean it can't be a sport dog and compete and win. And he has proven that with dogs at his facility.
Yeah,
so.
he had one that they were about to euthanize, and they adopted him, and now he's a dock diving.
He's a dock diving maniac.
Maniac.
It's fantastic. And then fostering, if you can't permanently take on a dog, you can help out the shelters when they're full by fostering, which is such an important part of that process. So,
and I always say, when you foster, you'll probably adopt.
I know. Well, we do love foster fails. You know, we do. We love foster fails for sure, don't we? We do have a few more mentions that we need to get to that we missed in the first segment of the show, I believe. And the very important one that we've just been talking to Georgia and Ginger Hoffman about perhaps adding cutting on stick horses to this wonderful event. And this is part of the equine initiative presented by Piranha. This is the CEP's equine initiative. We have 2 days of horsing around fun. Thanks to our sponsors, there is no charge for any age group to come and enjoy this event. And
So come out to the Florida Horse Park on November 22nd for the Equine Industry Expo.
Yep, November 22nd.
From 10 to 3.
Yep, and then the 23rd
is the Grand Parade at 10, and then the Hobby Horse Games begin.
Exactly. So real horses are going to parade around the Florida Horse Park on the 23rd at 10 o'clock, which will follow Colors and National Anthem. We have a very special guest who will be singing for us. And then that'll follow up, as Dancing Pete said, with the Hobby Horse Equestrian Games, when you get to do all sorts of sports from the safety of a stick horse. We have special guest Linda Pirelli will be with us. We have food trucks, vendors, demonstrations going on, a breed exhibit, lots of fun stuff. Free carriage rides courtesy of Larson Hay on Saturday the 23rd. And all this made possible by wonderful sponsors AgPro and Advanced Staffing. And then we thank Pat Myers Electric for the wonderful parade that we're going to have, and lots of other great sponsors there involved with making all of this an incredible experience and the finest in equine edutainment, as we call it. Don't forget, we are still in September for a little bit longer, although it's flown by. There is a $25
Distributors.
Yes, TT Distributors has a $25 gift card for you if you like and follow them, like and share their posts, and tag 3 Fens in the comments, and you could be entered to win a $25 gift card. And we know that that's very helpful. TT Distributors is out on Highway 40.
Are we allowed to do it?
Of course.
Okay.
Absolutely,
so
we
I'm
are.
going to tag you and Isaac and Kylie, and I'll have my chance.
And hopefully win, right?
That's right.
So check out TT Distributors. They have everything you need there as far as horse supplies, farrier supplies, and then they also have a wonderful online service as well, so you can order things wherever you are across the country. And then if you're not taking care of yourself and you want to be a brighter, better you can be. You can treat yourself to some wonderful September specials at Nirvana Medical Spa. They have some great September fall specials. We're seeing the pumpkins and the nice signs of fall coming, where it's not as hot.
It's not October yet. We're not supposed to have that yet.
Why not? I say let's get going on
You
fall.
probably would like Christmas stuff to be out right now.
I don't
Yeah,
mind.
sure.
Why not? We can.
It shouldn't happen till after Thanksgiving.
I do agree there. It shouldn't indeed. But wonderful September specials. Check out Nirvana Medical Spa online. You can save some money on these specials and take care of you, because horse people tend to be busy taking care of their horses and their dogs rather than themselves.
That's right.
So we encourage that. It's been a great show. Ginger and Georgia were absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to hearing some more from them and hopefully getting out to the farm to visit them and see some cutting in action. So whether you're in Ocala, Marion County, the horse capital of the world, or not, happy horsing around. Till
We'll
the
see
same
you
time
next time.
next week.